think we got a hose bad, or a loose hose. Probably the guy I got it from loosened up a hose just to see how far I'd take the thing apart trying to find the problem. I got quite a ways apart. I haven't found a problem. Okay, so we took the Amish Andy money and we blew it on a skid steer guaranteed not to run, but we got a good deal on it. Guy passed it through for what he paid for it, and the guy we got it from, he don't overpay for nothing, so needless to say, we got a good deal on it. We just got to do a little work on it. Fix an oil leak. Should be pretty simple stuff. Alright, we got this pretty well. I don't know if we've shown this before or not, but this is the inside of the skid steer. This is the cab. Basically, I pull out the control handles, bunch of the linkage for the 2-speed, all that 2-speed stuff. And you can pull your gearboxes out, but you got to take the axles out to get the chains off the sprocket. Kind of involved deal, but that's all right. What the hell else we got to do? So here's the gearbox we took out. This is the opposite side that we're having problems with, but we're going to take this apart and put new bearings on it because it's got the same life bearings as the other side, so this could come apart. It's way down in there, but anyhow, right there's the little funnel. The chain comes around, oil drips into there, goes inside there, comes out of the hole in the other side here over here. Now look how gunky that is. Okay, so here's the gearbox. Basically, the bearings are bad. That drives that gear, this gear drives this gear, and that gear drives the sprocket. So this bounced around in here. Didn't really wear that down too awful bad, I don't think. But we chipped this gear up pretty good. That's a $400 shaft. There was more wrong with it. You could buy a whole gearbox on eBay for $1,000. But all it really needs is some new bearings, a seal, and this $400 shaft. So I guess we'll buy the right shaft. I don't know what else to do with it. Okay, we got the gearbox all apart, cleaned up for the most part. All the parts there. They didn't ship us a shaft, not that it matters. We're still waiting on our bearings to come from California. But those will be here Monday, Halloween, trick or treat. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. Got everything pretty much ready to go. The only part that confuses me is this is the oil side of the thing. The other side's the brake. These two little holes go through into the brake housing. So I'd assume there's got to be oil in here, so you'd assume there's oil in the brake housing, but one had oil in it, one didn't. The bad one had oil in it, the good one didn't. So I don't know. Got to do more studying on that. Okay, here's one of the problems. This bolt here is broke off. So basically you only got here and here this big gap that wasn't sealed. Maybe the oil leaked out of this a little bit once before. This is how this works. There's a little funnel on the gearbox, and as the chain goes around, oil drips out of the gearbox, runs into the gearbox, that lubricates the gearbox, and then it drips out another hole, and that's how that works. So if the chain box oil doesn't get cleaned out, which the plugs in the front, I can't get them out, so I'm assuming they never drained the chain box oil. You're just circulating dirty chain box oil in there. So this oil don't look so great. That could be part of the issue. Either it will run dry or run shit through it forever. Okay, this is how the thing motivates. Basically, this is the output shaft of the gearbox we're fixing. And it basically turns chains that hook to sprockets that hook to the axles. One for the front wheel, one for the back. And then of course there's another set for the other side. There's the chains. 2 different lengths chains. I don't know which chain goes where. Probably should figure that out before we try putting it back together. And then here's our gearbox torn down, cleaned up. Waiting on the bearings. I think we might have showed you that's the bad shaft. And basically how it works is this is the input. That goes in there. That's driven by a hydraulic motor. This is the brake housing. It sticks through the brake housing. And then now I'm lost. Oh, it drives this gear. And then, which is on this shaft. And then this shaft drives that gear, which is hooked to the sprocket. It gets your final output. Never really worked on one of these before, so this is all brand new stuff to us. This here. Okay, we got our parts cleaned up, kind of organized to go start going back together once we get some parts. Here's our parts for our 2-speed. Basically, the hydraulic cylinder shifts some linkage, and then basically it turns this shaft here that basically angles the swash plate inside that little piston motor to make it pump faster or spin faster, and gives you your 2 speeds. Okay, since them gearboxes share chain box oil, we had to make sure we could change the oil in the future, which the drain plugs were stripped out, which we basically did the old weld the nut to the drain plug trick to get them out. We're going to let them drip off overnight, and then we'll clean out the chain boxes a little bit more, get things ready to go back together. Okay, we're going to pressure test our hydraulic tank that we think is leaking, which pretty much looks like it ain't. We got 6 pounds on it, and it's 338. So let that go for a while, see how much we lose. Okay, we've been pressure testing this. I don't know what time it is. It's lost its gas off there a couple times, but it could leak out of here and a bunch of other places. It's hooked to a pump in there. Maybe it could leak by that, but I don't think our tank is leaking. I think we got a hose bad, or a loose hose. Probably the guy I got it from loosened up a hose just to see how far I'd take the thing apart trying to find the problem. I got quite a ways apart. I haven't found a problem. But it was leaking, trust me. Okay, we got our chain boxes all drained out. Got them all cleaned out, good as we're going to clean them out. Basically waiting on parts. And all the dry parts cleaned up. The sun's blocking us out there. So we're pretty much ready to go and get some parts. This has been all day. I haven't put any air to it at all. See if there's any air left in it. I can still hear it leaking out. I don't think it's the tank leaking. I think that dude loosened up the hose for sure.